Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates. As promised, we are on the air tonight to tell you about the hurricane that has now hit Florida. Hurricane Helena made landfall in the Big Bend coastline of Florida at 11:10 p.m. last night, approximately 1 hour and 10 minutes ago, 10 miles west-southwest of Perry, Florida. Maximum sustained winds at landfall were 140 miles per hour, a Category 4 hurricane on the Sampson-Simpson hurricane wind scale. This is a powerful storm. This is a very powerful storm. The eye is now over Perry, Florida, moving in a northwesterly fashion, where pressure as of the last report was 948 millibars. The worst possible conditions continue over the capital region for another hour, maybe an hour and a half, possibly easing after 1 a.m. Again, official landfall in Perry, Florida was at 11:20 p.m. in Florida as Helena joins a select violent club of Category 4 and higher landfall hurricanes. This is a big hurricane. It still is a very powerful hurricane. Helene has knocked power out to over 1 million homes and businesses, causing at least one death in the state, as the National Hurricane Center warned of life-threatening winds and catastrophic storm surges. We have reports for calls for emergency water rescues. Unfortunately, we have reports that have come in that emergency response personnel cannot keep up with the emergency calls for rescue. There are going to be fatalities from this hurricane because people did not heed the call to evacuate. We've called for evacuations many times on this storm and many other occasions. When officials ask you to evacuate, you need to evacuate. When officials say it's too late for evacuation, you must make plans to shelter in place and to protect yourselves. Apparently, people did not heed that call. People would rather party and carry on and carry over until the worst possible second. And when life beads in the fall of life, all of a sudden people realizes, oh my gosh, what have we done? Hurricane Helene is now the 17th Category 4 hurricane to make landfall in Florida since 1851. It is also the only Category 4 or 5 hurricane on record to make landfall between Panama City, Michael, and Charlotte Harbor, Ian and Charlie. This is the first ever Category 4 hurricane to make landfall in Appalachia Bay since at least the 1840s. The hurricane continues to move to the north-northeast now at 24 miles per hour. That is a forward headwind. We have seen images of houses floating in the water in Steinhatchee, Florida. We have reports of a storm chaser in a multi-story office building, where water has completely engulfed the first floor of the building. There are going to be catastrophes with this storm. There's going to be Florida fatalities. There's going to be fatalities in various other places as well. The National Hurricane Center discussion now is highlighting what they call mesocyclones, rotating around Helene's eye wall. Mesocyclones. Cyclones are hurricanes. Cyclones are hurricanes in and of themselves, floating around the eye wall of the main hurricane. Those are smaller circulations with the inner core of the hurricane that can cause damage, streaks, and locally elevated wind gusts. Now, continue sheltering in an interior location of your home or the building that you're in. If you are in the storm area, continue sheltering in place in an interior location in the building or homes where you're at. There are extreme wind warnings still out in the country. There are still extreme wind warnings all over Florida. You need to heed these wind warnings and be careful. Okay? These are the worst of Helene, and that starts now in Leon County, Florida. You need to be very wary of what's going on. I'm telling you, you need to be very wary of what's going on. This is not the first rodeo that we've been on. We've been on many other rodeos in the past. Again, we have reports for calls for emergency water rescue assistance. We also have reports that have come in as of late, as of the last 30 minutes, that the emergency rescue personnel cannot keep up with the calls for help. That's very bad. This is very, very bad. Now, I need to tell you this as well. There's been one tornado touchdown in Virginia. There have been multiple multiple tornado warnings in Georgia, South, and North Carolina. Multiple tornado warnings have been up. The governor of South and the governor of North Carolina have now issued emergency states of emergency. They have issued calls for states of emergency in North and South Carolina. We need to get that out. Governor Kemp in Georgia is also calling for a state of emergency in Georgia. We have a lot of wind out there. We have a lot of wind out there and a lot of rain. We have reports here in North Carolina, even where I live, since 1 p.m. this afternoon. We have seen wind and rain here, 30, 35 mile per hour winds. We've also seen rain coming down at least 1 inch an hour. We have reports of mainstream flooding, rivers, and also these small brooks have overflown their banks. It's getting dangerous out there. Roads have been washed away as well. If you're out on the roads, you need to be very careful. Drive carefully and drive slow. This may save your life, because if you come up on a roadway that is partially covered in water, that roadway may already be undermined, meaning the water's gone under the road like this. If the water goes underneath the road like this, that means the underlayment of that road has been washed away. If that has happened, that roadway could collapse into a great big ditch or a culvert, and then you're gone. Then you're right smack dab in the middle of a river. And your vehicle could be blown down the road or blown down the stream or the river where you're at, and you could be lost. You need to be very wary of your location where you're at and very wary of what you're doing. Look far enough, if you can, into the distance, and be very wary of the wind around you. In some places in Florida, there are straight line winds blowing, and it's blowing the water across the visibility, and you can't see. Some storm chasers have said it is whiteout rain. Whiteout rain. Now, I have not ever seen whiteout rain. Nearly so, but not quite. I've seen whiteout snowstorms and blizzards, but this is whiteout rain. You need to be very careful. We haven't lost power here in Morganton, North Carolina yet, but we have reports of millions of people without power in Florida. There have been power outages over in Georgia and South Carolina and some places here in North Carolina as well. North of us, going towards Boone and Blowing Rock, North Carolina, there have been reports of tornado warnings. Now, this does not mean that they have sighted a tornado on the ground. That means there's conditions that would cause rotation in that area. Weather conditions that would cause rotation in the area. You need to be aware of that. This is serious. This is very serious. Be safe. Don't take your life or the life of your family or pets for granted. You need to be safe. If at all possible, stay at home. Don't go anywhere until at least tomorrow afternoon. And then consult emergency management in your area. Fire department personnel and police personnel. Consult them and tell them that you're wanting to leave your home and ask if it's safe. They'll ask you where you're going to go, and you can ask them if it's safe to travel. And if that's the case, if they say it's safe, you can travel. But my personal advice is stay home until at least late Saturday morning into Saturday afternoon. That's my advice. Now, I've given you a lot of information. Again, Hurricane Helene made landfall just outside of Perry, Florida. The official landfall time came at 11:20 p.m., just an hour and 10 minutes ago. Okay? An hour and 10 minutes ago. This is still a violent storm. We have reports of 140 mile per hour winds still, with maximum sustained winds at 140 miles per hour. This is still a Category 4 hurricane. Again, Helene has knocked out power to over 1 million people, homes, and businesses, causing at least one death in Florida. This may continue. As I've said, law enforcement and fire rescue personnel and Coast Guard personnel have already said that they have so many reports for assistance they can't keep up. That means we may have many more fatalities before this is over. And this is far from being over. Again, Steinhatchee, Florida, we have reports of homes floating down the roads. Homes floating down the roads. These are not just mobile homes. These are not just mobile homes. These are other homes as well. Please be careful. Whatever you do, please be careful. We have people here from Colorado and other places. If you have friends or neighbors or loved ones that are out here in the Florida area, Georgia, South, North Carolina, Virginia, call them. Make sure they're okay. Make sure they're taking care of themselves. And make sure they heed the first responders' warnings. And if there's a plan to evacuate, do it. Or if they have to, shelter in place. Do not take your lives for granted. This is not the time to guess. This is the time to take care of yourselves. This is the time to take care of yourselves. I can't tell you to do it. I can't tell you not to do it. But you need to take care of yourselves right now, whatever it takes. Does anybody have any questions for me? Okay? I've got the latest information. Again, the governors from South and North Carolina have issued states of emergency for our states. I understand Governor Kemp is also going to do it for Georgia. I've just heard from one of my sources that there may be a tornado on the ground in Georgia. There have been many tornado sightings and radar tornadoes that have been sighted, and they keep putting that information out. Deborah says her electricity went out as she can't get her trailer electric box switches to click back on. Be careful. Be very careful. If you've got heavy rain, you might consider waiting it out till it stops raining. If you've got heavy-duty winds also that might hurt you, stay inside. Don't take the chance. That's why we have been telling everybody to make sure you have flashlights available. To make sure you have flashlights available. My wife and I have many flashlights. We have 2 flashlights downstairs in our living room and our kitchen area. Up here, I have 3 flashlights right here in my office. I also have a lantern here. We have a lantern in the bedroom as well as 2 other flashlights in the bedroom. It's better to have flashlights and work in the dark with flashlights than go out and try to flip power switches or breakers and be blown away in the wind or get hurt with water still falling on the ground and electrical breakers that are out. Don't take the chance. If necessary, wait for an electrician by morning. Wait for an electrician to come out in the morning to check your breakers. Okay? Please be safe out there. Does anybody else have any questions for me? I'm here for you. I told you I was probably going to come on at 11 o'clock. The hurricane had not hit land yet at 11. It was officially 11:20 p.m. last night, just about an hour and 15 minutes ago. Any more questions here? I've been keeping an eye on this literally all night long. Now, storm surges. Again, we have a report in Steinhatchee, Florida, of a storm chaser in a multi-story office building where the first floor of the building is flooded over, meaning that storm chaser can't do anything or go anywhere. We've already told you that there may be storm surges up to 20 feet high, and that is exactly what we have now. Storm surges up to 20 feet high. This is what that looks like here. Okay? Deborah says she's actually been 2 or 3 days. Her neighbors are working, but no, she's praying that her box didn't get zapped. I am too. And that can easily happen. I don't even want to go there right now. That can easily happen for so many different reasons. Any questions? I'm here for you. Now, I probably will not be back here until late morning, Friday morning. I probably will not be back here on the air until late this morning. Okay? If you have questions, send them over to my email, or if you have an emergency, call me. I have no problem taking calls. I am going to try to get some sleep tonight. I've had a hard time sleeping during the past 2 days, and hopefully I'll get a good night's sleep tonight. Guys, I love you. I care about you. I wouldn't even be doing this. I would not even be doing this. Please, if you want to support us, right below this video right now that we're having now, right below this, we have our email address. We also have our address where you can locate us. Our physical address here in Morganton, North Carolina, where you can find us. The address, the address scroll is right here. Okay, I'm sorry it wasn't up before now. The address scroll is right here. 14104 North Green Street, box 105. Morganton, North Carolina, zip code is 28655. You can email us here. Our email address is also here. In the program description right below this, at the top of the program description, you're going to find our PayPal address. Rob52 sent us a PayPal donation earlier this evening, which we greatly appreciate. Again, your donations help us keep the power on and keep this program live on the air. It takes a lot of bandwidth to do this program, approximately 1 gig of bandwidth. It takes a lot of money to do this program. We pay, get this guys, we pay $240 a month for bandwidth. $240 a month for bandwidth to do this program. It's expensive. I've been doing this program now for 5.5 years. We appreciate you guys here. We appreciate you supporting our program. Okay? We appreciate all of you being here. Folks, I want to thank you for all you do for me and all you do for my wife, Carol. We love and appreciate you very much. If you need any help, let us know. Send us an email or send us a note in the mail, a letter, a card in the mail. We'd love to see you, and we'd love to have a donation from you. Thank you, Rob, for sending us a donation. Texas Lady is here. Thank you so much, Texas Lady, for being here. Deborah Reese, Renee's here. Thank you, Renee, for being here as well. Renee is a very big help. She's given us a lot of great information to put out to you tonight. We appreciate all of you. It means a great deal to have you here. Folks, if this is all that we have, I'm going to let you go now. But before I do, I'm asking the Lord to be with you. God bless you. Many of you have health issues. I ask the Lord to heal you. I ask the Lord to heal you and to be with you and comfort you. God be with you. God be with you until we meet again. We will see you on the other side. Have a good night, everybody. Much love.